Hi everybody, welcome back to the Everyday Chef. Today we're going to have a nice little spread with some oysters and some cocktail sauce. And I'm going to show you how to make a lemon crown. And we're going to use the lemon in the cocktail sauce and also have another half of it on the tray with our oysters. So we'll just jump right into it. And making a lemon crown is really very simple. Just by taking the paring knife and going at an angle, just back and forth. And I have a towel down here just to catch some of the juices, and just put your paring knife and pretty much go all the way through, but maybe 3/4 of the way. And you just do this all the way around the lemon. And just keep coming all the way around. I think mine's going to end up a little bit crooked, but that's quite all right. And one thing that you want to do too with the oyster, or with the lemon, sorry, is, there we go. Now we've gone all the way around. It actually turned out pretty good, and just peel it apart. And there you go with your lemon crown. Plain and simple. And we'll use this half for our cocktail sauce because it's the one with all the seeds in it. And we'll just scrape out some of the other seeds that are here in this one. And we'll save this one to put on our platter with the oysters. Now one thing you want to do is to take the bottom of the lemon, and to shave the very bottom of it off. And all that does is just gives a flat surface for the lemon to rest on. And that's all there is to it. So a lemon crown is very easy. And now, like I said, with this half of the lemon, we're going to do a cocktail sauce. And a cocktail sauce is very easy to do. You can pretty much add anything you want to give it some extra flavor, but the main ingredients that I use are just some ketchup, some horseradish, some Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of chili powder. And I always start with the horseradish. I usually put in about a tablespoon. I'll put a little bit more, because we're going to make quite a bit here. And this is all done to taste. You can do it however you like. Now with that much horseradish, I'm going to put in probably about 1/4 to 3/4 of a cup of ketchup. Just squeeze it right in there. There we go. And like I said, this is all done to taste. So after you mix this up, you can taste it, see how you like it, whether it needs more lemon or horseradish or sauce. I'm just going to put in about a tablespoon of sauce, and then squeeze the lemon. And the way I do it with the crown like this and with the seeds on top, I'll hold it up and just squeeze it this way to keep the seeds from getting in. That's going to be, whoop, some seeds dropped in there anyway. Get those out real quick. All right. And then just stir it up. Now if you're going to do oysters on the half shell like this, it's important to make the cocktail sauce first and just let it chill, for the main reason that you don't want the oysters sitting around to wait while you're doing this. Okay, I'm going to use a different spoon to get a little taste of that and see how it's going. That, to me, that's really good. In fact, I think it could probably use just a little bit more lemon juice, give it a little bit more tang to it. And if you find that it needs to be a little less sweet, you can add some more horseradish. If it's a little too spicy, you can add a little bit more ketchup. Just the way I like it. I don't really like it extremely powerful in the horseradish. I like the lemon juice to stand out and the ketchup to be really subtle. So that's that. Now we're going to move all this aside, put this in the refrigerator, and bring out our oysters. And we're going to start shucking them. Now these are Blue Point oysters, which are my particular favorite. The Blue Point oyster typically is a little bit sweeter than the others, and if you're having them on the half shell, when you eat it, it doesn't really taste like you're getting a mouthful of ocean water. The sweetness you really can't notice unless you have other varieties sitting all around and you have some of each. But I like the blue points in particular. Now, oysters are only available the months from September through April. So just remember, any month that has the letter R in it is when the oysters are available. And I really love them in the early spring to sit outside when the weather's nice and just turning nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these, and to open them, get these out of the way. With a good oyster knife, and I just grabbed this one out of the grocery store, I always go to the back of the oyster, and you can kind of see a natural seam right along in here. And that's where I have found the oysters open the easiest. Now, one thing you want to be sure to do when you're opening oysters is to protect your hand. If you happen to have a chainmail glove, those would be really good. I don't have one, so all I'm going to do is just use a towel and put the towel over top of the oyster. But go into the natural crease here in the back of the oyster. You stick your knife in a little bit and just pop it open just like that. That's all there is to it. And with these, after you've opened it up, just take your knife and kind of go around the oyster to disconnect it from the shell so that people don't need to be scraping away at it when they're eating them. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up all the rest and put them on a platter, and then I'll give you a nice serving suggestion. Now these have opened very easily and not had any problems so far. Got a little bag here for my extra shells. And one thing that I also asked the grocer too was if he could pack the oysters on ice for me, because they have that nice crushed ice. And as you can see, I'm using that ice for my serving tray. And that's the main reason why I asked them if they could pack them on ice for me. Otherwise, you could throw some ice into a blender and just pulse it until it gets all fine and stuff, and then just put it on a plate. And the last thing I'm going to do is I have my lemon crown here if people want to put lemon on their oysters, and my cocktail sauce. And the one thing that I forgot to add to the cocktail sauce was a little bit of woo. You don't really know what woo is, but in this case, woo is chili powder. And this is how I add it, you know? Woo, 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 woo. And that's woo. Stir that up. That's good. Now, one thing that I do, just again, cut the bottom off to give it a flat surface to rest on. And then, this is the lemon that I used for the cocktail sauce. So just take my paring knife, and I'm going to go inside of the lemon and sort of cut away all of this stuff, all the extra lemon that I didn't use. See if I can pull it out of there. You could take your spoon. Doesn't matter that this is the same one because it's all going to it's all related. And just pull out some of the lemon there. So I have a hollow lemon. And this is what I do. I just take the cocktail sauce, just put it right inside of the lemon. Now you might need more than this, and that's fine. But depending on how much or how little people use, you can always just start with this. And I just put it right in there. Make yourself a little hole for the lemon to set. And there you go. Blue Point oysters on the half shell. Folks, I hope you learned something today here on The Everyday Chef. If there's any questions that you have, or if there's anything that you would like for me to make here on The Everyday Chef, please just email me at the email address listed below. And remember, the secret ingredient to any recipe is a dash of imagination.